So let's wait.
Do you want to restart OBS perhaps?
Okay, let's do a test. So hello everyone. I've just restart the stream. Let's see. Can people hear Discord people? Discord people, speak up.
Hello.
Hello.
That might be a bit loud actually. If it is showing up now.
Yes, it is. I've just unmuted. It's now picking it up. Great.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Cool.
Okay. So.
As I said, I put the.
All right.
I had the greatest emoji for it.
Okay. Right. So.
Sure.
Now we need to redo the introductions.
Okay,
This
switch
time-
screens,
this-
rewind.
This time, why not? Let's go from bottom till top. Bottom to top.
Okay.
Oh.
I know, switching things up.
Wow.
But the words here on the wall. I'm Berg. I play Nero, the pilot.
All right. I am Dodrebur, or Dodd. I play Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos, and I'm a Vulcan.
Okay. I'm CangoFango. I'm a human. I play Doviah, Drenlich, Twossock.
What's so funny?
I play Doviah,
Oh,
Drenlich, Twossock.
you're human.
Okay.
That went.
Good to know.
Yes, I play Doviah, Drenlich, Twossock of the USS Pathos. And the character's also human. Okay. Let's begin.
I really had too many emojis for this situation. don't I?
Well, it's good to know you're enjoying the
Okay,
emojis.
so chat, please let me know if you can hear, if volume mixing is good, if Discord people need to be louder or quieter or less loud or more quiet, whichever one. I am not human, but I play one on TV. Yes, exactly. Crewman Richard, expendable reporting for duty. Hello, Willis. Hello, the infamous Trekker. Hello, everybody, including Roomsbath. Hello.
Yes.
Am I quiet?
Much too
I'm never
quiet.
Rogue is much too quiet.
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Roomsbath? Because on OBS it is going into the yellow.
Not sure.
I'm never quiet.
Crewman Richard, expendable. I am a Volcant and don't expect to survive until the end of the episode.
Yeah, so now it's okay apparently. So apparently Rogue was actually just being a bit quiet in that instance.
Maybe he wasn't speaking while we were typing it yet.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yes. So, is everybody ready? Is your seatbelt non-existent? Non-existent because we're in Star Trek?
And fire extinguishers.
No.
So,
Yes, I've got my notes ready.
Who needs safety in the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, you've got inertial stabilizers. Well, inertial dampeners.
dampeners.
You've got inertial dampeners to make you not experience the force of acceleration to go from 0 to half light speed in a few minutes.
Until we get
Beam.
thrown all over the bridge.
True, but if the inertial
Happy.
if the inertial dampeners did truly fail, you would be atomized paste on the back wall.
Mush.
But
Yes.
anyway,
Okay.
let's continue with cheerful thoughts. And
Sure.
So everybody is ready? Good.
Yeah.
Safety recall. When next in Tridoc Apex will be installed on the bridge. Well, sadly, Mr. W isn't here anymore. He doesn't have time. Unfortunately, for the streams. But maybe in 2 years. Who knows? So, he's with us in spirit, and his character is with us.
In spirit.
No, he's actually here beside me. Can't you see him? Anyway, right. So now that Kango has run the ready command in chat, This is already a great start. A great start.
Yeah.
Portable cloaking. Yes,
We're
He's
starting off a little giggly.
mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Yes.
That's always a good sign.
Well,
The portable and he isn't even Jem'Hadar with a portable cloaking device.
Oh yeah.
So yes, because Rogue, you didn't know that they had that, did you? Oh, apologies. Anyway.
Spoilers.
I want a cloaking device.
Oh. We can have a cloak instead.
Which technically,
Got one of those.
I mean, it is a cloaking device if you add a few gadgets to it.
Technically,
So,
Maybe.
depending on your interpretation of the verb.
let's begin.
Good idea.
Okay, so I don't know why. I do not know why. I guess I should probably throw some Borg in to make things a bit more serious. So,
Wrong era.
sounds like someone has gotten into the doctor's medical saurian brandy. Ooh.
Sorry, Randy.
Right.
Sure.
So,
Don't tell him. Don't tell the doctor.
Dodd, do you have something for us?
Yes. Yes. Let me suppress my own laughter. Everything is fine. No laughing Vulcans today. Captain's Log Supplemental, Stardate 6220.5. As we conclude our shore leave at Argelius 2, the dedicated work of Chief Engineer Maxwell Zaveru and the Engineering Department has prepared the USS Pathos for our next mission. Chief Inspector Carber of Argelius 2 shall be assisting us as we track an unknown vessel which previously launched an attack on the planet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
And I also appreciate that everybody managed to hold back their giggles as you were doing that.
Of course.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Willis didn't.
Wonderful soundscape there, Rogue. Wonderful soundscape. Captain's giggle stopped something.
Oh,
It's
maybe a parody.
no, that's tough. Willis, do you remember that's tough from Star Trek Enterprise that the Vulcans had in the Expanse? Those blue rocks. Do you remember that?
I'm not sure.
That they injected into their system. Some of that must have gotten onto the Pathos.
Oh.
Anyway, we're already 15 minutes in and we've barely gotten
16.
16. Oh yes.
Yes, now.
The ever. If anything can make this a little bit more serious, then the never-ending and constant, yet somewhat malleable march of time is what can achieve this. So,
That just flies away.
yes, or someone brought some of those support plans on board. Yes, exactly. So, let's begin in Transporter Room 1. Within this scene, so this is welcoming the Chief Inspector on board. Actually, tell you what, I'll just put that name onto this temporarily so I've got it on the same page. It's fine. Right. So in the scene, I'm assuming the captain's there, probably also First Officer Joseph Westaker, and maybe Communications Officer as well. There might be some cultural things to do if you want to be in the scene. Transporter Room 2, Transporter Room 1 is
Sure.
closed for recalibration, says Willis. Okay, sure. Transporter Room 2 it is. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, no, he isn't. He's in the scene, unfortunately. So Kango isn't stuck in the... No. Right.
Kango might not be canon in the universe.
So, as the captain gives the transporter operator a little nod, the transporter operator is a half Andorian, half human. He looks mostly Andorian. He operates the console, and on the transporter pad appear two people. The first, they both look vaguely human. They are both male. The first looks a little bit more business-like, as though wearing what looked almost like a suit. It looks basically like someone took a suit and wove some strange patterns into it that could look maybe like some sort of flag or identifying marker or something like that. The other man looks dressed a little bit more casual, and it is clear who the chief inspector is, because he immediately steps off the transporter pad and extends both of his hands out openly like this towards the captain. He says, "Greetings. I am the chief inspector, Carver."
Welcome to the USS Pathos. Captain Shiun. Look forward to working with you.
Yes, this is my assistant. He will be the one interacting with your crew if I am otherwise busy. May we get started right away?
Could you introduce your assistant?
And at this, the assistant kind of takes a small step forward and he says, "My name is of no consequence at this point. It is tradition to only associate the name with whoever is leading a commercial endeavor. It is ancient tradition."
Very well. Then your preferred form of address.
Inspector's assistant will do.
Very well.
Okay, so does Doviah have anything to say? Like, how much research have you done in this culture over the past couple of weeks that you've been here?
So you mean on Argelis? On
Argelius.
planet Argelius.
2. I meant just
So
the
is
culture.
it Argelius Prime or Argelius 2?
Argelius 2, because it's the second planet from the sun.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Mhm.
And the attack happened on also 2, or the planetary attack that happened on Argelius Prime or 2?
There is only Argelius 2. There
Alright.
is no Argelius Prime.
I probably would have researched them, but me as a player, I don't know the information. So
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, how
Alright.
much I should tell you based on how much your character would have researched.
All right, I probably would have done it. Yeah.
Done it. Do you mean?
I probably would have researched their cultures while we were there. I mean,
Okay. I'm so. By what you're saying, it sounds like just a little bit, not overly much for any reason, just a little bit.
I'm not sure how much time I would have had. So if I had the time to do it, then sure.
There
but-
would have been a few weeks' time.
Oh right, then yeah. I mean, what else would I have done? I'd say
Go to theatre plays maybe. Anyway,
yeah. I'd say yeah. I would have researched it.
okay. So you know that both the greeting of opening the hands like this and the thing about how to address people is quite specifically related to business endeavors. So things that have to do with trade or commerce. The opening of the hands is to show that there is nothing being hidden, no weapons, no secret deals, nothing like that. open hands, meaning that there can be an honest transaction, an honest deal, basically. So it is clear to you that they are approaching this from a corporate or commercial point of view, not necessarily from a political or government point of view.
Right. So if I knew that, then I would have probably told I would probably have told the captain before we actually met, before they actually transported over. I mean, if I found that out, I would say.
You found it out just now because of how they acted.
Oh, right, I thought it was in the research I did beforehand.
Well, you learned a lot of stuff about the culture you didn't know what would be relevant.
Oh, right. Sure.
You'll tell me later.
Okay.
Okay, so they want to get started straight away, and they ask if your ship is ready to depart.
Quite.
Okay. Right, so he asks that he asks to accompany you to the bridge because he will be most useful there, and his assistant wants to transfer some of the data that they've gathered in the meantime over to your ship's systems and requests access to your computer for this.
Repeat the end of that sentence.
The assistant requests access to your computer to essentially upload some of the data that they've already gathered in this investigation.
Of course.
Okay. Right, and Joseph Westacre is volunteering to keep an eye on the assistant while he's doing this.
Good.
He says it quite openly as well. He says, "Captain, may I keep an eye on him while he's doing this? Just for security's sake."
He does so.
Okay.
Okay.
So where are we at the moment? Are we still in the transporter pad?
At this point,
or-
the transporter room.
Yeah.
At this point, yes. But we're going to transition over to the bridge, unless you want to do something.
And the people from that beamed over, they've gone off to engineering, or I'm
So
assuming?
the chief inspector wants to accompany the captain to the bridge, and the assistant wants to go to the computer core to upload his information.
Oh, right. Okay, sure. Then yeah, that's fine. Let's skip ahead to the bridge scene then.
Okay. So as you walk through the corridors, take the turbolift up, it seems that the chief inspector is quite impressed with Federation engineering and is almost a little bit excited to be on a Federation vessel, even though this ship is at least 16 or 17 years old at this point. Okay. As you get to the bridge, they walk on, and Nero, he gives you a heading, which is where the direction that they tracked the unknown vessels that were going into. So after the attack, they managed to trace them going in a bit of direction. So you get given that heading, and do you want to set off?
Yep. Yes, that's that.
Good point, Willis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be. Yeah. Perhaps.
Hard to do a background check without the name. That kind of hinders things.
Make sure it's not Daystrom. If you don't know, Daystrom was the guy with the M5 computer.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, right.
I don't know what that means.
The computer that took over the Enterprise because it was designed to replace a captain, and so in war games it decided to actually attack Federation vessels and killed a few hundred crew.
Wow.
Because it had the brain engrams of Daystrom imprinted into its circuitry. So, anyway. Right, so...
Cool.
I'm assuming you are going to allow Helm to follow the directions?
Yes.
Okay. So, plotting the course, it doesn't look like this is going towards anything specific. Looks like this heading is just taking you in a vague direction into space. You're not heading towards any specific system or anomaly or region or anything like that. It's just going into deep space. So how fast do you want to go, Helm?
Oh.
Normal cruising speed? Bit faster, bit slower?
Yeah. Normal cruising speed.
Okay. As you engage, the ship jumps to warp. You can hear
That's it.
grinding sound, or not grinding necessarily. You can hear that humming sound of the warp engines ramping up in the background through the deck plating as getting faster and faster. So let's see, I need to quickly the one who is on sensors. Hold on. There we are. Yes. Jay Baylor is on sensors, and he is going to perform sensor sweeps as you continue. So that is going to be the first roll. The ship will assist. We've got one momentum because it's a kind of a continuation of how we ended last session. So we've got one momentum.
Just halved then.
Yes, because it was 2. So do you want him to buy dice? It's just going to be a difficulty 1 task. The ship will assist as well.
Just roll.
Just roll? Okay. No dice, sure. 2d20.
You want to roll with no dice?
Okay, that's 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Kango, would you like to roll for the ship?
Sure.
Science plus sensors.
Sure.
Good old science and sensors.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Here we go. 12, as you won.
Okay,
yes,
3 successes, which means you generated 2 momentum, which means we're up to 3.
Great.
So, what's so funny?
Nothing. It would require context.
Does it have something to do with that phone notification I just heard?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
Right, so.
Okay.
Time passes. Half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. At some point you get notification from the computer core. It's Josef Westacre informing you that the data upload has been completed. He's scanned it, and there were no computer viruses or other malicious software detected. And yes, you can now access it at your leisure, or leisure, how you want to pronounce that
right.
word.
So only I know that now from the bridge.
Now only you know that, yes. Do you want to keep it a little secret?
No. Turn around. So it's the rotating chairs, right? The swivel chairs. Turn around and say, Captain, The data upload is finished and all seems to be in order.
Alright.
Okay.
So... So I'm not sure what would be like the standard for like reviewing that information. Like, would it be the sort of thing that was looked over in a group or assigned to someone, or I'm just not sure.
In this case, it would be usually just you who either you can go over to one of the many screens behind you, or you can go into one of the conference rooms, the ones with the triangular screens on them.
Alright, I'll just go to a screen.
Okay. Go to screen. You bring up the data. And let me just give you a quick overview of what the data consists of. So
Okay.
it's most of it is to do with the encounter. So an unknown warp signature was detected by some of the sensor platforms at the edge of the system. They tried hailing it. It did not respond. It seemed to be chasing... Well, not chasing. It seemed to be on the same course as a freighter. Let me find the name. One moment. This is... there we are. Yes. It seemed to be on the same course as an inbound freighter by the registry of RX-2384, as was heading further and further in. So our idea is to have small interceptor craft, no bigger than a large shuttle, just for dealing with asteroids and to kind of ward off some small pirates or something like that. They intercepted, tried to establish communications, nothing happened. The 3 small craft that they were sent were disabled through force, weapon fire. The alien vessel came further and further in, entered orbit of Argelius 2, and started attacking the orbital space station, the dock, the one you were repairing at. It didn't seem to be targeting any specific systems or any critical areas or anything like that. Even though the station was defending itself, it still didn't try to attack the weapons or shield systems or any strategic target. After a short battle and a distress call being sent out, there were 2 Federation ships that were coming in to respond to the emergency. Before they came, the enemy vessel, already damaged, decided to disengage. It left on the same course that it had entered from, past the sensor platforms and out into deep space. The 2 Federation vessels that came were quite old. One of them was a Hermes class, the other one was a rebuilt NX class, and so they decided not to pursue. They decided to wait for something more substantial, like a Constitution class, for example, to arrive, which it now has. Analyzing the sensor data that was gained throughout the engagement, they have confirmed that it is an unknown vessel. They it does not show up in either their own databanks or the Federation databanks. Another thing of note is that during sensor sweeps, the interior of the ship did not appear to have an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere. There was a lot more ammonia in there. So, yes, whatever was piloting that vessel evidently did not come from a typical life-supporting world. Right. And that is about the extent of the information you get. Do you want to ask any questions? You can use obtain information for this. Also, do you have Studious? Because Studious, doesn't that give you 2?
That's my other character.
Oh, right, other character, sorry.
Yeah.
So what do you say the atmosphere consisted of? It wasn't oxygen and nitrogen, it was...
Mostly ammonia.
Ammonia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure. Right.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions?
So the 2 ships that were originally sent, have they gone now? Or?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, okay.
They only stayed around to make sure that no further attacks happened in that time frame, and when it was clear that there would be no returning attack. Basically, when you were on approach already, they went back to their own missions.
Alright, okay.
Which
That's
quite far
fine.
away, but still.
Sure.
Did they... Do they know how long this vessel was traveling along the same course as the freighter? Like, when did they...
So
hop into that
I'm going to give that. So actually, if you were if this is accessing the freighter's information as well, then it would require an obtain information, a momentum. But it means you
I
gain
do that.
it means you gain access to the freighter's stuff as well if you want.
Mhm. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
If everyone else is
of course.
good with
Yeah,
spending
fine.
momentum.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So not for very long. It appears that the freighter is automated. There was no crew aboard. The automated sensor logs showed that the alien vessel was on an intercept course. It performed a scan, then attempted to attack the freighter. This was in deep space. But the freighter jumped to warp, and the emergency escape protocols allowed for the engines to be overclocked, basically, which meant that they managed to get a distance to that vessel and managed to keep it until they got here.
So, that original intercept course would not have taken it to Argelius 2. They were trying to catch them before they got there.
Yes. However, there is the approach vector of that vessel in the logs, which is incidentally Actually, no, that's fine. That would make sense. That's fine.
What?
It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I feel. Ah!
What? What? What?
That makes you worry more.
It's nothing to no. It was nothing to do with anything that we'd had before. It's just I was about to say something about the angle of that to Argelius too, but that just it wouldn't be important. It's just a piece of information that would probably just confuse the situation more, which is why I stopped myself from saying it because I didn't want to confuse the situation.
Okay.
Sure. The influence tracker says it'll be fine.
Yes.
Of course it'll be fine. When is it ever not fine? Yeah.
But to be clear, what I said was correct.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. And what was the freighter carrying?
The freighter was carrying an assortment of different wares, mostly imports, well, mostly exports, I guess, from their point of view, from the First Federation.
So basically a mixed traffic freighter.
Yes. An intermodal.
So as far as we know, there's nothing notable. Just like miscellaneous stuff.
Miscellaneous stuff, yes.
And what direction was the ship coming from for that intercept course?
Let's actually, I need to quickly look at 1 moment. I need to quickly open up the map. 1 second. I shall be with you shortly. Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. Map, there we are. So we're up there. It seemed to be coming from an uncharted sector of space. It is within the Federation borders, but uncharted. Because now we're kind of heading to the uppermost area, sort of wedged between the First Federation and the Romulans on the other side, and that little gap up there with that area, which is also where the Talos star group is and things like that. And Vega Colony. But so yeah, an uncharted sector of space.
All right.
Yep, Kango, those are the First Federation vessels. That one, yes.
Right, good.
Right. Was there anything special noted about their weaponry or defenses?
They were using energy-based weapons. They had deflector shields and nothing special. The closest thing to the weapons, the closest thing they were using is some form of disruptor pulse.
And did any of the scans reveal a number of life signs on board the vessel?
That, my friend, would be... Well, that would be worth a momentum to me.
Oh.
Fair.
But is
How
it
feel
worth
about
that
that?
to
Sure,
you?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it that important of a question, though? Because it did have an atmosphere. It did have an interior complex of rooms and corridors. So presumably there were life forms on board. Is the amount of them really that important?
Maybe we don't know yet, but maybe...
Shiun would want to be thorough.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be important later on, that's the thing. If
Okay.
it's not important right now. Yeah, sure. I'd be fine with it.
Yes? Rogue?
Yeah.
Going once, going twice.
Okay. Sensors at first did not detect any life forms. However, upon some modifications to the scan parameters, they discovered between 30 or 40 life signs that were more energy based.
Alright. Interesting. Alright, I think those are all the questions I have about the incident, unless someone else has questions.
And this happened... So when did this actually happen? So a few days ago, or... Like
Well,
what's...
it was before we got to the planet, so more than a couple weeks ago.
Alright, okay. No, that's fine then. I don't have a question then.
Okay.
Maybe in chat? Someone in chat has perhaps a question? I don't know. If not,
I
then...
guess, like, the speed at which they were traveling would be useful.
They were traveling at medium warp speeds because that old automated freighter was able, overclocking its engines, to basically keep pace with them, to almost outrun them. So,
Okay.
not anything too significant.
Noted.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's good for me.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun,
We
dun.
have data.
Right. I need to make a few notes. Give me 1 minute, please.
But this, the original series.
Okay, an hour then.
Yeah.
I wasn't referring to that.
Oh, was you?
Diddle-diddle, diddle-diddle, diddle-diddle.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just finish this. 1 moment.
Oh yeah, I still didn't figure out that damn bloody Ness story.
Mm.
I didn't figure out. I didn't figure out this story. Episode. I completely forgot about it.
Okay. I just need to make sure that this makes sense.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, right. That is great. That is great. Okay, sorry about that little break there. Right.
That's fine.
Now that you have this information,
Now that we have the information.
now that you have that information, do you want to skip ahead until the scans reveal something? Or are there other things that any of the players would like to do before we get there?
So how much of like the populations in the area we're headed towards are friendly to the Federation?
Well, the first Federation is. They have trade, quite friendly terms.
Yes.
The
I know.
Romulans, not so much. They've been under a veil for about the last 100 or so years, until a few years ago they came out and destroyed some of Federation border outposts with a new weapon they had. There was also an instance where a cloaking device was stolen from them by the Federation, but that's a bit secret, you probably wouldn't know about that. So they're not very friendly. And the Talos cluster is absolutely off limits. No one can ever go there. If you do, then that is the only crime for which the death penalty still stands at this time. So don't go there.
Oh, lovely.
And other than that, there's not really that much up here. The Vega Colony is a Federation colony, but of course I'm not really listing Federation outposts in this area, because of course the Federation outposts are more likely than not going to be on good terms with the Federation.
That's a reasonable assumption.
So in that case, I think I would like to send information on this vessel and the life signs and atmosphere we found within them,
Mm-hmm.
and see if anyone in this area saw something similar passing by or saw similar things in the area recently. There's like some sort of spike in activity within this group.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And requesting that information from the First Federation as well.
Okay. So, Kango, I need you to make a check. It's going to be engineering plus control, and this is to see how quickly you will get a response. The ship will assist with its I think it's communication plus engineer? No, one moment. No, it is communication plus engineering. I was right. So this is a difficulty 0. The amount of successes is just how much quicker it's going to happen.
Okay. Oh.
You didn't even think about buying dice or anything.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
I didn't. I
Right,
truly didn't.
so the ship doesn't assist. Okay.
Wow, this is gonna go.
I think you need to learn to consider the possibility of buying dice before you roll.
I know. For some reason, I just didn't think of it. Yeah.
Maybe because you played Pathfinder earlier today,
Yes,
and so you
that
were
might be it.
more used to straight up rolls like that.
That might just be it.
So, okay. Transmissions are sent.
Cool.
However, you reckon that it's gonna be a while before you get response.
Okay.
If we get one.
Okay. So, right. Can we skip ahead now to when you get to the point where the freighter was first attacked? Yes? Or until something shows up on sensors? Okay.
Okay.
So, a good few hours pass, nothing showing up on sensors. The tension on the bridge is rising because it's almost like a calm before a storm. It feels like there should be something out here, but on the sensor readout, each sweep just reveals nothing. Rogue, Nero is informed on his console that you are less than half a light. Well, it would be actually, yeah, you're less than a quarter of a light year out. You will be arriving within the next 10 minutes. Well, not light year. No, what's the other unit of measurement? Because that would be way too long. No, not AU. There's a specific measurement. Oh, it doesn't matter. Sorry, that doesn't matter. I'm a bit.
AU is way longer.
Yeah.
An AU is.
What's it? I know it's the distance of the Earth from the Earth to the Sun.
No, parsec is much longer. Parsec is much longer. Anyway, you're about 10 minutes out. You're about 10 minutes out from the location where the freighter was attacked. Sorry about that.
I need a shorter distance.
Yes.
Gives a longer one. Gives an even longer one.
Uh-huh.
How about inch?
Well, an AU is smaller. AU is astronomical unit, which is the distance from the Earth to the Sun.
To me, that's not short.
Well, it's shorter than a quarter of a light year. In fact, it's only about 8 minutes, 8 light minutes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So, right, about 10 minutes out.
I use 9 light minutes.
9 light minutes, okay, sure.
Sure. Okay.
So, right, you arrive, and science does a sensor sweep, and they say, there's nothing out there, sir. What do you want to do?
Unsurprising, this long from the incident. Search for signs of where they might have headed afterwards.
Okay, so you want to search for things like engine exhausts, warp signature, subspace disturbances, things like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is going to be another science plus... Actually, this is going to be a science plus reason check for the NPC.
Cool.
Do you want to buy dice?
We
Yeah,
want to-
yeah, that's the unit I meant. The infamous tracker got it. Yes, sorry, it's so hard to think of that. Anyway, yes, we've got actually no momentum left because of scene change.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Sure.
We
We need some good rolls.
do need some good rolls.
Critical successes.
Yes, Kango, we do need some good rolls.
Some double crits.
Do you want to buy dice with threat?
I'd be willing to buy one die with threat.
Okay, and since you're not
So unless someone has a very strong argument
you're
against
not.
me doing that, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, since you're not spending momentum, you can do that. Okay,
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
30-20.
I ain't sending anything.
Ah, okay.
Wow!
So that's 2 successes.
Wow. It had its dread, but wow.
And Dodd, would you like to roll for the ship?
Sure.
It's going to be the same roll as before.
Yeah?
Wait, why is the complication range 2? That needs to be 1.
I don't know. Okay. Fix that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so
It's fine. We got one critical success, and it was
Mhm.
with the die we bought with threat.
yes,
So.
you're the captain and it's your ship. Yes. Good to remember that. So you generated a momentum, and there's a lot of beeping and buzzing coming from the science console as he's looking through that almost like a viewfinder almost, and pressing buttons, turning dials. And then at one point the Andorian turns over, says, I am picking up vague traces of a warp signature. It appears something was here for a while and only recently left. I've got a bearing. I can't seem to be able to identify the type of ship though. At this point, the chief investigator says, my first guess is that whoever the assailant was laying in wait here for the automated freighter to go onto its return trip. However, that is the obvious guess.
Yes. Any notable similarity to the warp signature from the vessel we're pursuing?
Okay. He stands up, goes over to the other console where the information was being displayed. Goes over, compares it, and says, "It's a match."
Cool. So it would either be the same vessel or an allied vessel. In any case, following it would be the obvious solution. So away we go.
Yes.
Okey-dokey.
Starship away. Yeah, match in space. It doesn't have to light. So.
We never said it had to be useful.
True. Good point.
I mean, if you shot it with a phaser, it might combust spontaneously, but so
Wouldn't last long.
yeah. Right. Right. So Helm, you have your orders.
Okie dokie, let's go.
Right. So, Rogue, how are you doing this? Do you want to just continue as normal, or do you want to go at a little bit of a reduced speed, which would lower the ship's sensor footprint, basically, to go in a little bit more stealthily, but a little bit slower?
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Do that?
Yeah, go slower.
Okay. You engage maneuvering thrusters. No.
It is just literally pressing buttons.
Yes. Okay, you engage one.
It's not like I'm actually like got a driving stick and driving it.
Okay, so drop the anchor. Yes.
Yep.
So
It'll latch onto something eventually.
as the
Yeah.
silence
Yeah,
on the
go.
bridge persists, you're following. You see the star field slowly moving, with the warp debris as well, on the view screen, looking ahead. The beeping of different consoles on the bridge creates this almost, in a way, almost hypnotic feeling. It's not hypnotic, of course, but going in that sort of direction. Just the
rhythm.
occasional beeping, silence, nobody's saying anything, waiting for something to appear on sensors. Joseph Westaker speaks up and he says, "Captain, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit.
Do you have a particular complaint?
This feels like a trap to me. It feels like we're walking straight into a trap."
Given the fact that a ship was waiting at its previous attack site, I would say that is a reasonable expectation. That it was waiting for the response to arrive.
What are we going to do? Blindly stumble into it and hope that we can fight our way out of whatever this trap is? Willis suggests red alert.
I think that would defeat the purpose of stealth driving.
You can go on yellow alert and keep the shields down for now, which would just ready the crew a bit more.
Okay, yeah. Yellow alert, shields down.
Okay. Yellow alert, shields down. Doesn't have the same ring to it. Anyway, yeah, so Westaker seems a little nervous.
Unfortunately, in order to complete the mission, we have little choice otherwise. Until we have another lead from our contact, there is nothing else to proceed with.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Captain. But I don't like it one bit. Okay. So now that Westaker's dislike of the situation has been noted, we can continue. After a further about 2 hours, you are getting a little bit close to a red dwarf star. It has no planets. 2 platters! Yes, 2 plot towers, indeed.
Indeed, yes. Yeah.
Jay Baylor
Oh yeah.
at sensors suddenly speaks up and says, "Sir, I had a blip near the corona of that star. It's a bit. There's a bit of distortion. The star's radiation, whatever it was very close. Very, very near, either very near or within the corona of that star." Westacre says, "Bingo." The chief inspector then speaks up and says, he was sitting down, he stands up and he says, "Well, Captain, how do you intend to deal with the situation?"
So, how much would being that close to the corona of the star, how much of an effect would that have on engaging with the ship?
Westacre thinks for a moment. He says, "As long as we're not actually within the corona, should be fine." Willis has a good point.
Launch probe. I see no reason why not.
Okay.
Could do.
By the way, I am keeping track of how many probes you have.
Oh.
You started with 150, so
Oh, that's good then.
don't need to worry
I'm
about
sure
it.
we restocked.
Not yet. You only used 2. Okay, so do you want...
Probably wait until we've used like at least a third of them before we restock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't think we can go through them that fast.
Well, who knows about this mission?
Throwing probes all along everywhere.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
I would like to release 100 probes
Okay, what do you
so
want?
we can get a clear thing on this entire huge area of space, please.
Okay, let's do it.
And you just imagine, so,
No.
and here's a probe, and there's a probe, and up there's a probe, and down there's a probe, everywhere a probe.
Everyone's
something like
approved.
that.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
so
But yes, we launch a probe.
you launch a probe, the little probe fires out, the exhaust visible on the view screen as it comes in, moves in closer. Now, normally the probes aren't designed to go back. From this course, it would just go close to that object, and then basically its course would take it into the sun, into that star. Okay. As it gets closer, it's time for a scan. So, do you want to buy dice?
We have 1 momentum now.
Yes.
Do you want to buy a die?
So the question is, do we think the scan needs the momentum, or should we save it for actually encountering the ship?
Darn, kicked off the bridge again. Yeah. What do you think, Rogue? Should we use the momentum on the scan or save it for later?
Save it later. Use threat.
Save it for later, use threat.
Okay.
Saving it for later doesn't necessarily mean we need to spend threat.
Also, if the
Sorry, I
scene
couldn't resist.
also if the scene changes again, we'll lose the momentum anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I couldn't resist.
Go ahead and use it now.
You mean the momentum?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Rogue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was telling you joking before.
Here we go.
Alright. Technically joking.
Oh yeah.
The best kind of joking. Wow.
Okay. That is
Critical
1, 2,
success.
3, 4 successes right there. And
Great.
Rogue, you get to roll for the ship.
Okay. We'll dial the ship up.
In this case, it is going to be security plus sensors.
Okie dokie. 1. And golly luck.
It's fine.
Oh well.
God damn, come on.
It's fine. It's
It's
fine. It's fine.
So how much momentum do we have now?
We have 0.
Still. Even with that critical success.
Actually, one moment. Sorry, I didn't count. Because I didn't deal with that yet. We didn't see how much we wanted to spend on. Because you
It's
normally
fine.
went for obtain information. Normally, I wait for obtain information and then.
Alright, we got
Right.
that.
So, as the probe comes in closer, you start to get telemetry, along with some visual data. So visually, it looks like a central a central mass of the ship that has sort of bulbous protrusions all around it of different sizes. There are clearly engines in the back. There are 4 what look like warp nacelles, one coming out of each cardinal direction, each direction, 90-degree angles, on pylons at the back of the ship. And the overall color of it is sort of brown to ochre.
Okay.
In terms of sensor data,
Interesting.
no, not those guys. So, and actually the size of it is about 1.5 times that of the Pathos. It is quite large. However, the sensor scan reveals that their level of technology is generally below that of the Federation. So, while it is equipped with disruptor pulses, it does have shields that aren't on at the moment. At the moment, it appears to be what it's doing at the moment. It looks like it's using its Bussard collectors to gain hydrogen as fuel from the star. Looking inside, it doesn't appear to have any anything special. There are some large empty spaces inside, which are not connected to the outside. So they are not hangars, they are not launch pads or anything like that. Perhaps really, really big cargo holds. It does but not that much else. They don't pose that big of a threat to the Pathos. It actually, that picture, looks sort of like the central mass of it, but there are very big bulbous protrusions coming out of it.
So it's symmetrical though, right?
It is asymmetrical.
Alright. So does it look like those protrusions were built into the shape, or did they happen afterwards?
They basically, they look like domes. Domes of varying sizes.
So intentionally built like
yes,
that? Okay.
Placed on along different parts of the actual main structure. Now, let's see. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the base information. Now, how much of those 4 momentum, because it was a difficulty 0, do you want to spend for obtain information?
I don't know.
What?
So how much momentum do we want to spend for
That'll
additional?
depend on how many questions we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how many of those I will let you ask?
Well, how many of those you'll answer?
True.
So, any recommended questions are welcome to be aired,
Of course.
as I also try to think of questions.
Chat, you as well, if you've got questions.
That means you too, yes.
How close is it to the corona right now?
It is at a safe distance. Close enough so that refueling using the Buzzard collectors to catch hydrogen is more effective than... It's basically close enough for that to be very effective, but not close enough to be any sort of danger to anybody. Well, most people. If you were in a fighter jet, then you would probably be in a bit of danger, but...
No, totally safe.
Oh, right, the dice. So... Right, sorry, I should have explained. Yes.
Sure.
So, with the dice, if it shows up with a black background and just the numbers like that, that is the total number of successes. So, for example, up here, if you look up there, that one, it's only one die that was rolled, so it's only one number, and it's a 1, which means that it's 1 success in total. Now, depending on the difficulty of the task, you need to roll a certain number of successes. If it's a 0, it hasn't rolled a success. If it's a red 0, like over here, thank you for demonstrating, Kango, it means it's a complication.
Much obliged.
Which means either I take threat or a complicating factor gets added to the scene. Now, if it's just dice like this, like what I've rolled there, with just the numbers of the d20s, then it means that... Oh yes, good night. Thank you for stopping by.
Indeed, good night.
Yeah, if it's just numbers like that, with the actual numbers that are being rolled by the dice, not the number of successes, then it just has to roll at or under a target number that I know. For example, if the target number is 14, then for this one here, the 1 means the die rolled a 1, which means it counts as 2 successes, a critical success. The 19 and 17 are both above 14, and so they don't count as successes. So that counts as 2 successes. Down here, I rolled a 1 on one die, which counts as 2. Then a 12 on the second die, which counts as another 1 success. And the third one counts as a third success, because that's also under the target. So that's how that works, roughly. So I hope that was helpful. Oh, there was a character, sorry. Oh, right.
Yeah, he's not playing.
Oh, yes.
I was like 50% sure
Glad
it
you're
was.
still here.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
like
glad
50%
you're
sure it
still
wasn't character, 50% wasn't, and okay, it's probably not. Yeah. I mean, he was tearing out the portal window, so... I don't know. I thought you had implemented into his character that he's going to
Yes.
bed. That, yeah.
Okay, so,
Anyway,
yes. Do you have any questions about this ship?
And we haven't seen it before. It's designed.
Nope. Never seen it before.
Does it look like...
Yeah, we'll get to hailing it after we've asked the questions, the okay information questions.
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't be failing at hailing.
I think it's hard to fail at hailing.
So,
but
I
we
think I've
can
just said
fail
them
at
an
getting them
insult.
to
Oh
talk to
no.
us.
Yes.
with
those,
do we... No, we wouldn't know.
Yes, you mean like with those word suggestions, if like with text programs.
Maybe. So, I mean, if you can't think of any questions now, we can just bank those
Damn
for
it.
momentum.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking of anything right now.
Okay, that's fine.
I just like maybe there's something important, but I can't
One
think
question.
of context
One question
for it.
might be if there is any if there's any detectable damage to the ship still, how damaged it is, because it was in a fight with the station.
Yeah. Did they have a chance to do any repairs in the last couple weeks?
Yeah, that's the question. Do you want to ask that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
It appears that the vessel it has sustained breaches in its what are its weapons systems, its engine systems, and just in its structure. It appears that as though they've not had an opportunity for repairs. Captain, I sent a message to say hello, but it translated into, your mother smells of elderberries.
That's an interesting language you have.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, the infamous tracker, because we are on yellow alert, so it would make sense for you to be at your post-ish. So, now, do you want to close in, or do you want to hail first?
I would like to hail first.
Yeah, trying to get away with a nap. Right, so, it's a job for you, Kango. It's a job for you, Kango.
Okay.
And I am going to let you roll for this as an opportunity to generate momentum. It is a difficulty 0, complication range 1.
Okay.
open hailing frequencies with them.
So it's a... What would that be? Engineering?
Engineering plus control.
Control. That's words at already.
The ship will assist.
Okay. Subtext communications? Communications? Not really. Or would that apply? Not sure.
Sure.
Okay. Here we go.
1.
Okay.
One
Okay,
success.
which means the ship assists.
Go.
Rogue, would you like to roll for the ship again?
Yay!
Communications plus engineering.
What was it?
Communication plus engineering.
Okie dokie.
Okay, that's fine.
The one.
Nah.
Just not my luck today.
So you did manage to overall generate a piece of momentum, which will be very delicious. Which will be very useful.
Or both, really.
That's just what we eating.
So, you open hailing frequencies, and after a moment, you get a response. They are... Do you want to put it on screen?
Sure.
Okay, you put it on screen. On screen comes a pretty generic looking energy being, which is basically just a whole lot of lights fading in and out, very blurry, against, but quite colourful as well, against vague orange background. And you hear a voice saying, "We are the Bashal. Identify yourselves." Yes, I'll post it in Discord how to spell that. Pretty straightforward.
Alright, yeah. I didn't guess the double S, but otherwise, got it. Are we collecting buzzards?
Yep.
Bussard collect. We haven't looked in your quarters yet, so. There was a message. Hold on.
D1HNN is now coupled up.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
You catch us.
Welcome.
You catch us at an interesting moment. Huh. I was about to say gets blind. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Right.
You've been asked to identify yourselves.
This is Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos. We represent the interests of Argelius II. And the Federation.
Yeah, important. It's important to tack that on as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a moment of silence. Then a voice says, "We agree to an audition."
Okay.
10 forward on a Constitution class? What is this?
A refit? Question mark? The Buzzard Collectors is a crewman's social group that gets together in 10 forward. Oh yeah. Oh, that was that message.
Oh, lovely.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
They said they agreed to an addition.
Oh.
That's something at least.
Yes.
Just for what?
What is the nature and result of this audition?
Communication with Pathos. Not sure if they mean the ship or if they mean actual Pathos.
Well,
If you're looking for emotional communication, we're gonna have to go with someone other than the captain. But also, they don't seem to be using emotional communication, so I'm gonna guess the ship.
True.
well, this could go badly wrong.
At this point,
Alright.
Nero, you see on your
Yeah.
navigational console that the ship is approaching at impulse speeds.
Can I have the ships approaching?
Hello, D1HNN. Yes, I saw you pop in. How are you? Right.
Yes, hello.
Free shields.
Okay. Shields get raised as the tension music plays in the background. That's not the tension music. That is the Star Trek motion picture
Yeah, it was tense.
intro music.
It was
No,
a tense moment.
this was before everything went downhill for
Yeah, but it
the
was
array.
before
Anyway.
when it goes downhill. It's usually tense.
Yeah, we're doing good. We had a bit of the giggles earlier, but those seem to have gone now.
Severe
Oh wait,
case
here they come again.
giggles.
Anyway,
Don't touch me, I will do it again.
so,
Just echoes of them
yes.
every so often.
So, yeah, the ship's approaching, shields are up. The chief inspector steps forward, over to you, moves a bit closer to the captain, and says, Captain, they attacked without provocation earlier. They might do it again.
They also didn't respond to hailing earlier.
At this point, Westaker says, yes, that's a good point. However, I still think that it could be a trap. What if they're just responding to hails to get in closer and then try to get a shot off?
That is why we have raised the shields.
Not sure that's enough. I recommend, as your first officer and chief of security, that we maintain a distance of at least 1,000 kilometers.
Very well.
Okay. So, Helm, it's a roll for you.
Hey. What are we doing?
It is going to be a con plus control check, assisted by the ship, to maintain the distance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Communication range?
Complication range 1. Difficulty, by the way, is, in this case, well, it's going to be, it's basically 0, but it's a compete roll. So, how many successes you get, if they get more, then, well.
By the way, did they cut off comms? Or did we cut off comms?
They cut off comms.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, the comms just were open this
didn't
entire
remember
time.
Oh,
I
you're
didn't
still
remember
here.
you mentioning it,
No,
but also
I didn't.
Westacre didn't act as though
Exactly. Yeah.
comms were still up, so
Yeah.
Right. Is that do I wanna?
This is just to maintain the distance.
1.
1.
Wow.
The ship assists.
Going
So,
really bad today.
Dodd, would you like to
Really,
off
I'm
the
going
ship?
bad today.
we've also still got null systems. Glad that's back.
Ah. Ah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be engines plus con. If Dodd, if you want to roll for the ship. That's a good point, Willis. That's a good point. They're probably wondering why we are reversing,
Wow.
sir.
With the backup, with
3.
the backup beepers going on as well.
Yeah,
well,
I am rolling
reversing
bad
beepers.
today.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Right.
But you wouldn't hear it. Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
as you're keeping the distance, you're accelerating further away. They are accelerating, keeping the rate of approach. And then, Kango, you're being hailed by them.
So me specifically, or the ship?
Yes, you no, the ship, of course the ship. Rate of closure,
course,
yes.
Captain, they're hailing us. On screen?
On screen.
Aye, sir.
The same image comes up on screen, and it says, "Does our approach frighten you?"
Your request was communication, which we were already engaged in until you cut it off. Your intent was unclear.
Communications are more effective face to face.
And how would you like to proceed with that?
We would send a representative. You look at Westtaker, and he just shrugs.
How close do they need to be to easily beam someone over?
Within close range, so they would already be, well, they're kind of at the edge of close range now, at the edge of it. That's a good question, Willis.
It is.
It's a really good question.
How would your representative join us on the ship?
We would utilize your matter energy conversion units.
Which means...
The transporters.
Cool. But for clarity, wanted to be sure.
So,
Yeah.
well, it was hiding. Well, they say hiding. It was refueling near the star's corona, and it just kind of stumbled upon it.
Yes.
Not the sun. It was eating part of us. It was collecting hydrogen with the Boozard collectors. It was a red dwarf. Seems legit. So.
So. The wording of that was weird, but I think that's just me overcomplicating things in my head.
Wording in what way?
Because they said they would use our transporters, not.
Well, normally,
Which sounds weird to me.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that normally, if both vessels have a transporter, then it's a combined effort of both, transporting from one transporter pad to another. So, while the transporter can beam to a location that's not a transporter pad, it's easier to transport to another transporter pad, if there's.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the infamous tracker says, "I'm pretty sure they want to eat you, like they're eating the star."
Well, that would
Don't think I'll taste nice.
That would explain the face-to-face thing.
And all the teeth. No, wait.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
No.
Huh? I was fond of teeth.
Goes to the shovel bay to hide. So, what do you want? They're on screen waiting for a response. At this point, Nero, you can see that they have stopped trying to get closer.
Yeah.
Well, Willis has made his opinion clear.
Alright.
I think he wants to get eaten.
Well, he does like to put his red shirts in danger, though, doesn't he? So.
Well, we still got our full red shirt. What's it? So he's not doing a good job at it, is he?
We have to stay true to the original series.
So we've got to lose some red shirts then.
Let's
Very
get this
well.
party started. Woohoo! First contact, yes. Very well. Okay. Right.
Due to your previous hostilities, we will engage in transport, briefly lowering our shields just within close range,
Says,
if that is all right with you.
this is acceptable. We shall send our representative when your shields are lowered.
Very well.
Okay. So, you allow them to get closer. And you lower your shields. Transport gets initiated. And I am going to spend one bit of threat to keep the initiative. And I'm going to spend a further, let's see, a further 3 to buy some dice. That's not what I meant. Ignore that.
Oh well.
Trelane, yeah, Trelane. We should visit Trelane at some point. That'd be fun. Initiative assists.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
What are they doing?
Time to end the series.
Okay, I'm gonna spend. Okay, hold on. Gonna spend 1 to reroll 1. 1 minute. 1 moment. Okay, that's better. That is better. Yes, the tricks. What was the episode? The trickster of something. The trickster of.
I suppose the link to the Trelane.
Yeah.
Should
Gothos. No. The Squire. The Squire of Gothos. That was the episode name. Anyway.
Yes.
Right.
It is.
So the transporter beam gets initialized. Things are going well. And then there is an ear-piercing, very high-pitched sound audible everywhere for about 2 seconds. All of you take 1 point of stress damage, unless you've got composure. If you've got composure as a focus, then you don't.
Okay. I do not.
That is a good point. So we could assume that, but at this point I am keeping mostly to TOS canon. We will expand that definitely.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because, for example, an NX class already showed up. So, well, kind of showed up. Plus a Daedalus class. So clearly there is some other things that are canon. So maybe Q is canon. Probably.
Yeah, true.
So,
That's true.
have you marked off the stress, the point of stress, if you have?
I've added it, yes.
Okay.
I have composure.
Okay. So
Good.
Jay Baylor is immediately goes over to the sensors. There's a little scan. It says, "Sir, that was a scan. We've been scanned. Quite a detailed one as well. It seems they wanted an entire sweep of the ship." At this point, transporter room hails you. It is 1 moment. I quickly need to look up this name. 1 moment. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, of course, it's never mind. Transporter room hails you. Says, "This is Officer Quithran. We've got the representative. What was that sound? Did you hear that as
Been
well?"
scanned.
Ah. Well, we have the representative.
And our shields are back up.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Westacre walks over to a little panel, goes out, and he gets a phaser. It's a type 2 phaser, but he gets one, and he's offering you one as well, Captain.
I will take it.
Okay. And he offers one as well to Doviah.
Sure, I take it as well.
Okay, so in this following scene, it does look similar to that. Yeah, the infamous tracker. When we were gonna end soon anyway, because we've only got 4 minutes left, so there's a pretty good ending point. But I want to I want to know who. I want to know who is going to. What's the one I'm looking for? I want to know who's going along. So it's probably the captain, Westacre,
Me.
you.
Oh.
Okay. For communications, that's useful.
Yeah, who's the...
Yeah.
Yeah?
And probably also another security officer, which could be a supporting character that Rogue takes over, maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe a
Okay.
scientist, who knows?
So no doctors, right? Or are there doctors going?
Well,
We have
it's
Pendale
been a while since you've
as
seen a police
security
box.
officer.
Oh, yeah.
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 If the phasers turn into swords. Yeah.
It's like a... Like, if you press it, then it just shoots out the sword blade. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So-
Exactly my point with this.
So Rogue, would you like to play our red shirt Ken?
Yeah! Give me a shot.
Okay. So, should we end the episode here, or should we keep going for a little bit longer? Not the episode, the stream. I mean.
I think here is good. On our way to meet with our auditioner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right, sure.
I'm just a bit sorry that Rogue, you didn't have that much to do this time around.
It's fine. I'm a little tired anyway.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay then.
So.
2 minutes before 11.
Yeah.
Well,
so
almost a minute.
What did everybody think of that stream? Players and chat people, and archive viewers as well, and viewers of the archive as well. I should probably talk about this as well. Yeah.
Just everyone ever.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Yeah. Good time.
Right?
I agree. It was very nice.
Not everyone's gonna need to have a pilot.
Willis, tune in next week. Same track time, same track channel.
Mm-hmm.
Channel, yes. Same track.
So, what's great? Oh, Ruben's bath.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello there.
Thank you.
Been lurking around
Mm-hmm.
until specifically addressed.
Yes.
Welcome back to chat, Room's Bath.
Okay. Chill stream, guys. We'll definitely check it out next week. Oh, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Right, so this stream will be archived on YouTube. And shoutouts, CangoFango streams as well, stuff. Mostly building maps in OMSI 2 and driving trucks, which is a hell of a combination, but...
Yes.
So, right, any other shoutouts? Anybody going once? Going twice? Sold! No. Lurk.
Sell shoutouts.
Lurkety lurk, lurk, lurk. Yes.
Lurk.
And and that's totally not a comment of what the secret spies aboard the Pathos are doing.
Wait, spies about the Pathos. Spies about the Pathos.
No, we're not there yet.
Just you have spies everywhere. Spies everywhere in every campaign. Just everywhere you turn, spies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes. So
It's not like the Saturday game. The captain is just hunting spies and killing them all.
Well, so far the captain has only killed one, and that back then he wasn't even captain. He was just chief of security, and he didn't even kill him because he was just locked in the cell and wouldn't leave when the ship was about to explode. So.
Yeah. So will there be spies from the Pathos, like?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Others.
Others, of course.
Parties.
You've got one from the Gorn, two from the Klingons, 10 from the Romulans, of course, and then
typical.
For some reason you've got the Herosian there as well, even though they're from Voyager and the Delta Quadrant, they aren't even here, but for some reason they. And in the Borg of this era also work in spies, so they've got a few on board. But for their spies are nanobots in the ship's computer system.
Oh, right.
But they do have little sunglasses as well. It's fine.
Well, thanks for saying that. Thanks for telling us the information. I mean, that's going to be archived as well. So for later on, if we find spies, we know what we'll find.
Yes.
And we won't even need to roll then because we already know. So
okay.
Everybody's spy.
1 moment. There are no spies. No spies whatsoever. No spies.
Oh, that explains.
Right, so now that we've established that.
What happened there?
I think DMD's everybody's a spy.
I have.
Did you have filters? Do you throw filters on the camera?
Don't ask. Do not ask why I have this. No, seriously. Anyway.
Cool.
Right.
That's good.
So.
Keep it as red.
Sure.
Yep, as red.
Right. So with that, there are a couple of out of uniform stormtroopers wandering around somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so with that,
Yes. Thank you for the stream and shout out.
I believe we
It's been nice.
can end the stream there. So thank you all very much for watching, and bye.
Yes, bye.
Triples with walkie-talkies and laser eyes, of course.
Yes, and
of
shades,
course.
like sunglasses on those.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.
Just waiting for a few seconds for the stream to catch up.
Sure.
Bye. Yes.
Indeed. Bye.